Namaskaram, Vandanam, Assalamu alaikum, and Sat Sri Akal. We meet again, this time to look at a very interesting topic called faith, right? I know we looked at trust a couple of weeks back, but today we look at faith. Sort of an extension to it, right? We live in a world of skepticism, realism, and sometimes we, often we catch a glimpse of something that we cannot define. But with faith, we can definitely carry on without the understanding that is needed. That is the beauty of spirituality, right? Faith and surrender. Faith and surrender. In between, there is something called fear, right? So faith actually helps you to remove the fear. So let me tell you a story, and I'm going to call the story Near Death and Dream, right? Near Death and Dream. The lady called Bhavani and her husband met with a serious accident, she was called. She rushed to the hospital, and the nurses were saying, serious case, we put him in the crash cart, drove him near, and the doctor said, well, he's lost a lot of blood. He's also bleeding internally, and we need to give him intravenous, transfusions. But we don't know whether that will save him with the amount of blood that he's lost. We also have to do a surgery and operate on him whilst, giving him blood and so on and so forth. So it's going to take a while. We suggest you wait, and Bhavani was so tired that, she saw a picture of Lord Krishna, and she said, oh, I have no time to think about God now, but I have no other place to go except to you. Please save my husband. And then she just sat there, and then she dozed off because she was very tired, right? So much of stress. Then she had a dream. Now, in that dream, she saw that she was in the hospital room with the husband, and she could see, everything there. And she could see her husband, Raj, slowly, sliding through the misty wall. It was like between reality and, death. And a thin, airy, smoky kind of atmosphere there. And she could see him slowly drifting, getting up from the bed, just floating and going into the screen, into the other side. So she quickly went and grabbed hold of his arm, She grabbed hold of his arm and she was pulling, and he was being sucked to the other side, And then she said, Krishna, help, and she pulled, and he came to the other side. And at that point, she woke up. She woke up from this dream, and she suddenly, she went to the doctor's, to the operation theater, and then the doctor was there, and he said, okay, you were sleeping, we didn't want to disturb you. Well, we somehow, managed to bring him back. We almost lost him, but, some miracle must have happened because, his vital signs were coming back to normality. And yeah, you can go and see him. So she just, in that moment, she just thanked God, and then she went in to see him. And what surprised her, what shocked her was, he was okay, but she saw that he had a blue-black mark on his arm, exactly where she held him so tight and she was pulling him with all her might. That part where she held his arm was completely blue-black. And the doctor said, we have no way of explaining this. This is after the surgery, we found that he had a blue-black arm. He must have suffered the injury. And she said, no, he did not have that. So, every day miracles are happening all around us. And we hear stories of, spontaneous healing, people recovering from devastating effects, storms, accidents, financial disasters, all kinds of things, right? This story of Bhavani and Raj is just a small sample of the awe-inspiring hundreds of stories that you hear where people have faith, and that faith is what saves them. Miracles do happen, yes, but you need to have faith and never lose that faith. It's nothing more than a firm faith that will take you across this ocean of life or samsara. Khalil Gibran, the great, spiritualist, he said, faith is an oasis in the heart, which will never be reached by the caravan of thinking. And I like Rabindranath Tagore when he said, faith is the bird that sings when the dawn is still dark. Beautiful. Faith is the bird that sings when the dawn is still dark. Rabindranath Tagore. Until I see you next Thursday, stay blessed. Sai Ram.